Hi, welcome to Maxim's Inside Track for another edition. Just still a very challenging and volatile, uncertain world out there. Australia and Victoria, New South Wales, COVID challenges, which we're dealing with, working through. We have seen some massive government stimulus packages around the world. EU talking around a $780 billion Euro stimulus package. And further, into the trillions beyond that. US is also assisting significantly with government aid packages, etc. And locally in Australia, we've seen extensions of JobKeeper, looking like they'll roll out for another 6 months beyond that. So, plenty of government support. Moving on to the dairy world, full cream milk powder, I'll start with that, has held up extremely well on the GDT platform from significant gains 2 weeks ago. So this is a great result. It looks like it's across a number of contracts, a number of months. China's the key to whole milk powder. Their April-May imports were up significantly on where we thought that they would be. There was talk of some product in that marketplace. It potentially is there. It might be aging and people are looking to buy fresher production material. Still erring on the side of caution as we come into New Zealand's peak milk flow and those volumes increasing on that GDT platform. Oil prices have came up. They're still about 50% of what they were. However, they're up off those lows at the moment, and there is some correlation between oil and whole milk powder. I'm erring on the side of caution with this category. Moving on to skim milk powder now. This still seems like it's relatively stable-ish. Some rain in Europe has occurred, which has underpinned milk over there. April milk production was up about 1%. So global milk flows are up around about that 1 to 1.2%, over the last 3 months. So we're still seeing milk available. We are seeing some good prices for milk, even now in the US, with some solid demand is paying those farmers an okay milk price. So we suspect that global milk flows, unless these dairy commodity prices drift off, to remain relatively high. Fresh production skim out of Oceania is a bit patchy and a bit limited just because we're coming out of our winter months. That will change. I'm erring once again stable-ish to a little bit of caution with skim milk powder, just depending on EU, China demand and what that might look like. So sideways-ish to a little bit cautious. Moving on to the fat side of things now, butter and AMF. We've seen them come under some pressure on the GDT platform, and we've also seen butter prices from around the world starting to converge to a similar number. This most recent GDT has now put Oceania slightly below EU and US offerings. Still a patchy demand side of things with food service and retail. Retail print butter demand strong as people continue to cook at home, so that's helping to support these prices. Have seen some reasonably strong demand in the US and Europe for ice cream sales, so once again that's giving it some support. Just as to whether this can be maintained, it is a relatively expensive spend from a retail point of view, so do we start to see a transition into cheaper fat sources, margarines, vegetable fats, as people's incomes start to come under pressure with this economic crisis looming through our markets? I don't think fats will continue to fall off a cliff. However, I think, as per other categories that I've mentioned, erring on a little bit of caution with this product. Onto Cheddar now. Once again, the US, with recent demand and pipeline fill both in food service and retail, has extremely high prices, record prices on the CME futures market, and this has also been stimulated quite heavily by a government food box program where food boxes are distributed, and within that there is a portion of cheddar or cheese through there. The EU pricing has been reasonably established for the last 3 or 4 months. Once again, that initial pipeline fill and then relatively stable, and Oceania similar to a degree. So yeah, once again, food service, retail, and we see that cheese is stable for the moment. On to the whey and lactose. Whey's been relatively firmish. China demand is still there to a degree as they continue to rebuild that pig or swine base. We've seen lactose continue to be firm and strong, high demand in that infant formula category. We've seen about a US $500 a tonne increase in the last 5 months, and sort of seeing it around US 1300 as a bit of a capping out there a little bit, but still extremely buoyant. On the WPCs, WPIs, yeah, once again, nothing much has changed. Still a tale of two demands. Online demand still strong, and just general retail demand softish. We have seen MPC prices relatively firmish, and we think that's on the back of products being launched around immuno assistance, etc. So that could continue, especially as this COVID continues on to increase and support demand around that sort of nutritional side of it. Thank you very much for joining Maxim Foods again, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.